it's what?
So like the guy who takes pictures at school. 3, 2, 1.
Mr. Brown. 3, 2, 1. Okay, before we start with the next question, I just want to remind everyone that's listening, if you are listening, to please subscribe, like, and share our channel for the boys. Also, if you're listening, just so happen to be listening to our podcast, if you can even find it, please go to YouTube, type in For The Boys. That's boys with OOIS, not like everyone else says OIS. It's For The Boys. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for watching. Okay, next one. Next question. So, we're talking about gaming. We just spoke about... You pausing?
You go. Go. He's gonna fetch pizza.
Just get out of here, mate. So we just spoke about how much money, unfortunately, we've spent on gaming. The next question is kind of if we've made that money back. I'm talking about if you've made your game competitively and if you've earned any money from being competitive in your game. So esports is kind of on an uprise at the moment. I would say that Dota and League of Legends is probably the highest grossing like prize support. Magic the Gathering probably after that. These are all guesses. I haven't researched any of this stuff. This is the whole point about our podcast, is that we just guess numbers and we get Stewie to make sure we're right, even if he has to edit some things out, you know. But anyway, so I think esports and that kind of thing is maybe in the past 5 years like really jumped. I mean, they even have esports on ESPN now. They got lots of views on, like, esports is a major thing on Twitch and YouTube and all these streaming platforms. Streaming has become a massive thing. So you could say that if you streamed your game and you make revenue from the streaming on YouTube and on Twitch, that also counts as money being made for your game. So, yeah, have any of you ever taken your game to the competitive level? And have you made any money? Sales also counts as making money. If you've sold, I'm not gonna say that you selling a game like a PlayStation game or a PlayStation is making money. I mean, like, you didn't use money to get it. Like, for example, my Magic, I'm not gonna say that I made money from that because I used money to get that money back. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So have any of you, if you haven't gone competitive, what is the highest level you could say you've been?
Playing with you guys.
Oppa! Extreme!
This is as good as it gets for me, bro. I'm too scared of the real world.
I remember like having a good stint with you, Chris, where we almost decided to put together a Dota 2 team to enter the competition.
Never happened. Could never. Do you know how difficult it is to get 5 people? I know. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. How competitive is a bit of a mission when it comes to team. Well, especially with our group, because I mean, last Sunday we were supposed to have a podcast.
It was a good one.
It was a great one. Very quiet.
It's like no one turned up.
It's up. Yeah, it's like no one turned up. I think Wayne and I were just sitting there looking at each other into each other's eyes, you know.
It was a magical time. What are you saying? What are you saying?
And that's now on Pornhub. Just kidding. Okay, so Stu, so your closest you've been to competitive would say would be like a Dota team, right?
Yeah, that would probably be the closest.
Yeah.
For money wise, and getting close to like or streaming or sales, like,
yeah,
that's probably the closest. I've actually, to be honest, I've never considered actually doing a stream type of thing for monetary value or going competitive.
Well, now you're on For The Boys, so if we ever get monetized, you know where that's going. No. Goes straight into my pocket. straight back into the stream, into YouTube.
Straight into Magic cards.
No. I've spent enough money. We've worked that out already. I don't need to spend more yet.
But we could. We
For
should.
the time being, until
Until I get paid again. But anyway.
yeah.
So Stu says Dota is the closest. He's almost been in a Dota team that's competed. Wayne, have you done anything?
No, I'm afraid not. My gaming skills are not quite up to that level yet, so I've just done the games with friends.
You can't say that until you've tried.
You're quite right. I haven't tried to get to that level yet.
But the thing is, like, it's also knowing that gaming can be competitive. Like, if you're not in the gaming scene,
Yes.
your opportunities are a lot less. You know, like for example, my gaming. I've been around like all the different types of gaming, and I'll always find someone that is competitive. I speak to them, like research as much as I can, and then I always have a connection that can get me into a competitive scene. For example, Dota, I was in a competitive team, and Magic competitive. But these are all opportunities that you kind of like have to create yourself. And if you're really interested into it, but as you said, you've only like really started gaming recently. You haven't had the opportunities to get there. Yeah. Again, if you're interested in the thing, you just need to try it out. You know.
Yeah. Oh, it's time.
It's it's time. It says it's time.
It's time. I got time. You know.
Tim, what about you?
I never actually tried out to be in a competitive team or anything. I was just more playing for fun. There might have been a time where I might have been interested. I have been interested at one point, but I played against some people and they whooped the floor.
Yeah, changed my mind.
I changed my mind. I was like, you know what? I don't know if I could dedicate as much hours into being very competitive because I don't. High blood pressure runs in my family, so I don't want to have high blood pressure over a freaking video game. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Fair enough.
That's why I play RPGs.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened when that shark jumped over that house and made you shut yourself, right? High blood pressure.
Oh yeah.
Fortnite. Never knew Fortnite was a jump scare game, right? Never knew Fortnite was a jump scare game.
Yeah. I nearly died that night physically.
Yeah. So competitively, I have been around the block. You could say that I'm the village bicycle. I've had a ride on many a time, you know, or the village doorknob had a turn, you know. Everyone's had a turn, you know. Competitively, like for example, the first time you probably guys also like had this situation. The first time you've had a competitive like interaction is when you start playing online against other people. So you guys actually have competed. Because anything that is against other live people, that's competitive play.
Yeah.
As well.
So for example, you guys compete with Fortnite all the time because you're playing against other people. So you could say that ours is casual competitive because we don't play in, like, for example, Fortnite, there's the arena, which we could go into because I think we are good enough to do that, and you can make through the divisions and get to the top. But as Tim said, like, people want to spend thousands of hours in front of a computer. I don't think we are young enough to start that. You know what I mean? Because these days, StarCraft players, Dota players, all these things, they've actually now incorporated like training camps, training schools for this stuff.
I mean, at least in South Korea.
Yeah, that they've had for ages because StarCraft is like Korea's national sport or something. I'm not even joking. It could just be. Anyway, my
maybe we should ask Kev about that.
Yeah, we should get Kevin on here. Actually, we should. Yeah. So,
but I have a question about like the whole competitive gaming industry.
Yeah.
When you when you begin taking things seriously like that, and you start investing a lot of hours into being competitive and getting a team together, like how when would that not erode the very reason why you maybe got into the gaming in the first place? So you're almost taking away like the enjoyment that you were getting from the game by going
you
into
see, it also depends on the kind of person you are. Like, for example, you guys haven't done any competitive stuff. You guys like playing games in general. Wayne likes playing with his friends, right? I do not play a computer game or a tabletop game, except for maybe D&D, if it's not at a competitive level. I can't sit here and play, like, I tried playing Elden Ring for ages, only because people said it was a difficult game. The most difficult game that came out. So I tried it out. I can't sit here and play Diablo that much anymore unless it's on the ladder ranking. I can't sit here and, like, I never finished Skyrim, never played Skyrim, never played Dragon Age Origins, I never played any of these things. I don't do that anymore. The only games that I play are Fortnite, which is a competitive level, Magic the Gathering Arena, which is competitive level, and now Ark. And the only reason I'll play Ark is because it's on a server and you can go fuck people up.
Which you dragged me into.
So for me, like, I guess I'm just a competitive person. So that's why I actually like pushed myself to those competitive sides. Like for Dota, I was in like 2 seasons of the South African league with a couple of friends of mine, my cousin and some other friends. For Magic, obviously I've been in tournaments all the time whenever I can actually get, like, that's kind of the reason why I moved to China, is because from here I make enough money, and also from here you can travel to lots of different places because it's a lot closer. But unfortunately, as we got to China, some world global issue happened, and now I can't go anywhere. So yeah, my competitive side is mainly Dota. We tried PUBG and Fortnite, but mainly the tabletop game Magic, really. I also played like X-Wing. It's a Star Wars tabletop game. I played a lot of that as well. Anything that I can get my hands on that you can get somewhere with, I will try it. Money I've made, like usually it's prize support, not actual money. But I mean, if you had to sell it, for Dota, I didn't make any money really. But for Magic, I've made quite a decent amount. X-Wing, I made a decent amount. Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in the day, not so much. Yeah, that's my competitive side. So it's like all in all, money, cash prize wise, not much, but prize support, like actual product, if I had to sell it, maybe in total like $1,000 or something like that.
Pretty good for making money from a game.
But man, it's crazy. Like when I first started actually getting really competitive for Dota specifically, Dota, I think, honestly don't know, I think it might have broken the record at one point for like most highest paying like esports. It was the first TI, like international tournament for Dota, TI1, and or maybe TI3, I don't remember, but it was the first, it was one of the international tournaments where each player, because there's 5 players in a team, each player made $1 million each for playing a video game.
So when do we start this one?
I mean, I've been trying to get a Dota team back together for freaking ages, man. I would be so keen to play. But so the next the next TI is actually in Singapore, which is really cool. But it's gotten to a point where it's like, usually it was like, oh, we're gonna do the tournament on the weekend, Saturday weekend, you know, the Sunday will be the second day and that kind of stuff. But now it's gotten to a point where esports, specifically Dota, because I just read a little bit about it yesterday, is that there's 4 weekends worth of stuff.
Cool.
So it's like a whole month of this tournament on the weekend in Singapore. And do you know what the crazy thing is? These players
Money.
don't need to pay for anything. They're going to be in Singapore on a visa, like a special visa, to play at this tournament where they will win more money. So this is where gaming is competitively at the moment. Usually you would think, oh, that's the All Blacks flying to South Africa to play in the World Cup. Obviously the team will, the whole team, the whole of New Zealand will like kind of, like the sports department of New Zealand will give them the money to go there and play, fly, stay in the hotels and that kind of thing. It's gotten to a point where people take their freaking computer with them to another country to probably earn more money, than our...
Possibly earn more money.
Well, yeah. Possibly earn more money than extreme sports athlete. Cool world we live in, bro.
It's a very modern age, man.
Yeah. So yeah, that's I don't know if anyone else wants to say anything more about the competitive scene and the money and how much money people have made doing this.
Hopefully,
I was gonna say also, like, so that was Dota. Like for Magic the Gathering as well. Mainly in America, but also like they've only recently, because of the whole pandemic, they've stopped like face-to-face plays in big tournaments. But World Cups and like PTQs, professional tours, have like when they come back in the near future. And those used to, I don't know what it's going to be like now, but those used to, you could go there maybe every month or maybe even twice a month if you're like well off. If you win those, also were like $100,000 prize support and that kind of thing. So like you could actually make a decent amount of money from that too.
That's crazy,
yeah? Okay, so let's move on to the next question. So, next question is, this is going to be a very controversial question. Because what gamers actually have girlfriends or boyfriends? Just joking! So, the next question is, what do your partners think of your gaming and the amount of time you spend on it with other men? And or what your parents thought of it while you were growing up. I know I have some serious issues answering this one.
I can give you the answer to the first question very easily, and I can do it without words or with just the movements.
Exactly. Just a roll of the eyes. A roll of the eyes. So if you have to think about it, like before you answer this question, the time that you spend on your computer doesn't have to be specifically gaming, but the time you spend on your computer compared to when you were growing up with your parents and the time you spend on your computer now and around your significant other, is there a big difference?
Well, I don't live with my significant other, so
obviously you wouldn't play when she's around.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, it's up to you guys. Anyone else?
That line is saying a whole lot more than you thought, my friend.
No, for me, because certain times is the only time I could play with y'all guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes she's here, sometimes she stays like overnight and whatnot. And
then you scream out loud because a shark tries to eat you.
Yeah, and then I felt bad because she was trying to say she had to work the next morning. I was trying to be quiet, but I'm still too loud apparently. And also my place is not very big at the moment. Which is why I probably should live next to Chris in that nice
What big?
Was it quite a big hutong that he showed me. But yeah, sometimes I spend too much time on here. But also it's like she's working, and I can't really interrupt her while she's working, so it's like it's fine.
So if
But
you like during a working day, how much time would you spend on your computer?
all right, so normal working day, I wouldn't spend much time on my computer.
Like, I mean, when you get home and stuff, like, do you just go straight to the computer?
No, because we have jujitsu that I like to go to if everything's back to normal.
Yeah.
Let's want to stress that out. Back to normal. I'm starting to cook more now, so yeah, so I wouldn't have as much time to play on the computer, except for on Tuesdays, which would be when we don't have jujitsu.
Yeah.
And everybody's available usually
to
play.
Designated game night.
Yeah, designated game night.
Exactly. Weekends, I would like to rather do other stuff than just stay indoors, but COVID! Can't go anywhere. Everything's locked down. So, not much else. So, I spent more time gaming this past 2 months. And during that first outbreak back in 2020, than I have probably past 10 years.
Yeah.
Or I would say not 10 years. I would say 5 years.
And like back when you were a kid back at home, how often were you on the computer or PlayStation or Xbox?
Immediately after school, all right, Xbox Online, Halo, let's go. Play with my friends. Like, oh, Tim, you getting on tonight? Yeah, I'm getting on tonight. Let's go. Let's play.
Like, how long was that?
Oh, if you can, all right, so not including, all right, so if it's like after school day, Tim, did you do your homework? Yes, I did my homework. Yes, I finished it. I finished it at school. I'll do it early in the morning.
Yeah.
Before class, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what happened then. And then weekends come along, 3:00 pizza. So we would stay up till 3 a.m., get pizza in the oven, have pizza, then go back to gaming, do all-nighter.
Little LAN party.
I remember those days, Huey. The Doom evenings.
Fun. Yeah, and then you yelling at each other across the room like, "Oh, you stole that fucking tank, you asshole!" No. Yeah.
Have a little footman war.
Good times. Good times. I probably lost many hours of sleep, and I will suffer for it in the future. I know hardcore I will. I still have problems sleeping well. So yeah.
And you win?
Yeah. So how was that question phrased? It was
like, what when you were a kid, your parents, like, did they have a problem with it? And then, like, now when you're living with Emma, like what's her, like, what do you think her thought on it is?
It's actually okay. When I was younger, I didn't spend. I mean, there was one computer in the household, so that was it. It also meant that we had to share it with our parents and my sister, so I couldn't hog the thing for very long.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed a couple of games. But I was also like, I mean, it's myself and yourself and Stuart were very much outdoors kids as well. Yeah. So, I mean, the three of us.
Well, not like now, we were outdoor kids, not necessarily out of our own choice, but school made us do that.
Yes. So, I mean, what Chris is being bashful now about saying is that he was a very gifted rugby player and Stuart was a very gifted water polo player. So, we weren't exactly the typical sit behind a computer kind of guys you would expect, but they also happen to be very gifted intellectuals on computers. So, I was just fortunate that I spent a lot of time outside and growing up, and then now my parents think it's a bit odd that I play so much on the computer, but
yeah, but it's because now it's like a disconnection, right?
Yeah. Well, now that they know why I do it as well, so
tell them to watch this. Wayne's mom and dad, this is the reason why he's on the computer all the time. For these reasons exactly, just to have fun with his mates.
That's it. And it's even that, like, we just catch up on every like couple nights a week, so we do it very sparingly, and then we have a social life as well, so it's okay. And then Emma has been very epically supportive. She's been here for a
She's
few months in
actually
Australia now.
itching to get on with us, right?
Yeah, she's
made a feature. She's made a feature appearance in one of our videos already.
Exactly. Her name is on the title of one of the videos.
Exactly.
So she's legit. And she's now in the saving and in the mood for a possible laptop to join the squad for Fortnite. So we could watch this space. So she's super cool and she's supporting everything. So when we're playing games, she's happy to watch and play her own games. But yeah, that's the family views on my gaming.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been good.
That's good.
Louis?
As Wayne already said, like myself and Chris and Wayne as well, we probably spent a lot of time playing sports and stuff after school, and so we probably didn't spend as much time like getting home and getting straight onto the PC and playing games. My parents were definitely
against
at first. Yeah, they were probably very much against it at first, especially some of the things that we would play. So the old Doom 3 was which Chris introduced me to was a very my parents would call it a very wicked kind of game, and they're like, what is that? What are you playing? So yeah, and gradually they warmed up to it, where we would spend some time playing games on the weekend, and especially after leaving school and going to uni, where being connected online was more common.
Yeah,
it became more common and stuff that you would play more games and stuff, and all that. It just became commonplace, and they just grew accustomed to it. But definitely at first they were very much against it. Like, go play outside, or what are you doing on that PC? Or my favorite one, get off the internet. I need to use the phone.
AOL.
Back in the day, man. Back in the day. Get off the internet. I need to use the phone.
And then I think one of those times that it did help our case was when I'd actually have you guys over at my house to play Xbox, and like having a bunch of us sitting on the lounge just like little kids playing and shooting each other and shouting. My mom and dad would bring like drinks and snacks.
Guitar Hero, man.
Yeah, I promise you now, people watching this video, Chris Graham will forever be a memory in my household. Playing Guitar Hero. The man is not a small human. And he was standing 3 foot from my TV screen. There was a couch below the TV, and the TV's on the wall. Chris was on the couch with the TV here, playing Guitar Hero, while my mom was standing watching all this. My mom could not believe what was happening.
Great times, man. Great times. Do you remember that time I came to your house with a monk haircut?
Yes. Wow. Yes, some haircuts that arrived in my house. Stuart was peroxided. Chris had a monk haircut. That's a great time to be alive.
Fantastic.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so good memory. See, like, those are when parents are like, oh, this is funny. They think we're stupid, and then they watch us play and see how much fun we have. So.
Exactly.
But I wanted to say about what Stu said about, you can't be playing these games, they're so wicked, or like, it's evil. Well, my dad said that about GTA.
Yeah.
Well, GTA is under a lot of discrepancies about that kind of stuff, man.
It was like, shoot the hooker, rob that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like,
promptly, and then
it made sense. It made sense. So I was like, yeah, I see.
And how old were you when you were playing that game, by the way?
I never actually owned the copy until actual university.
But did you play it before?
I played it at other people's houses, but I never.
Well, those people were breaking the law, because it's 18 plus. So don't say any names on here because that's evidence.
Even Halo, right? Halo was like what? Isn't that kind of 18 plus? I'm sure.
I don't know about Halo. But yeah, Wayne, I remember the first Grand Theft Auto that I played is from the top down, and it's like freaking pixels, man. Just like I remember all the time running onto the railway and getting electrocuted.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's Grand Theft Auto 2 or 3, because then after that it was Vice City with the whole Tony Montana say hello to my little friends vibe.
Yeah, then it changed. Yeah. Jeez.
So
that was my parents started questioning
yeah. Stu, do you have any more carry on with your story?
Sorry, man.
I think I was a little bit different. Whereas I think I very much got into my RTS, my RTS games when I was playing it. Very much a strategy person myself. Very much a strategy and a city builder. So like SimCity and Zoo Tycoons and Roller Coaster
cool.
Tycoons were my jam, and like any of the RTS games growing up were like with
Age of Empires.
Age of Empires.
Age of Empires.
No, Warcraft 3.
Warcraft 3. I actually played Warcraft 2, and that was like the first kind of like strategy game that I got into. Man, I tried playing that like maybe 4 or 5 years ago again, and bad. It's bad. Like the map is so like small. If you just move your mouse, it's like literally the map is in 4 blocks. Like you move your mouse to the bottom, it's like whoop. That's the right corner.
Your internet is shitting itself.
Really?
Pause for the call.
My VPN.
Is it better now?
There we go.
Much better.
Yeah.
Well, if that's a bad recording part, don't worry about it. We just had some technical difficulties. Everyone's back normal now. So, yeah. Get off the phone! I'm using the internet! Anyway, yeah, so Warcraft 2 was the thing that I first got into.
Yeah, I remember that. Jeez.
And Stu? What was it like trying to play computers and get into gaming? When if you just turned your head without even having a mirror, you were looking at yourself.
To another one.
Actually, me and my twin brother, we became very like at first it was weird because like it's my turn to play. We had one piece between the two of us, and it's like we'd have designated time slots. Like you can be on from this hour, and now I can be there. And to promise you, sitting there with a clock, you'd be like,
yeah. I remember only having half an hour to play on the computer. Like my dad and my mom would say you could have half an hour on the computer. You look back at it now, it's like, man, that's like just opening your computer and getting to a game, connecting to the internet. Half an hour. What can you do with half an hour? You start the game and it's already finished.
It takes 20 minutes to dial up to start on, and then open the game. 20 minutes later, you got negative 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Save game was a thing, man. When save game used to be a thing.
Yeah, that's when everyone used to save game. That's why they invented save game. So that when you had to get off for another person's turn, you could save your game. Not dying.
Yeah. Alright. What else you got?
Also, pause, guys. I've got to go quickly.
Okay.